Hello everyone, and welcome to my math journal tutorial. If you're in my class, get out your blue journal with plain white paper inside. If you're not in my class, you can grab a journal notebook with plain white paper, dots, grid, or lined. Any of those will do. Students, you have this page in your package, and what I've given you are some suggestions for numbers of the day. If you'd like to challenge yourself and you have other ideas, feel free to go ahead and try those ideas out for numbers. Let's imagine that on Monday my number was 81 because it was the first day I had done my math journal. So, sorry, 89. And then the next day was Tuesday. And so I did the number 22. And then the next day was my third day, Wednesday. I did the number 6. Toothpicks, bobby pins, and Q-tips. And let's imagine this is just my decision, so you can decide what your manipulatives at home are worth. But what you're going to want is to have things that you have a lot of. So some examples are hair elastics, paper clips, locks, things like that. Something, even rice, things that you may have a lot of. So I've decided that my Q-tips are going to be worth 100. My bobby pins are going to be worth 10 each, and my toothpicks are going to be worth 1 each units. And then for 6, it has 0, 100, so I'm not going to do any of those. And it has 0 tens, has 6 units. And I know that, so I'm going to do 6 little units. Just like this. And you need something a little more challenging, go ahead and do 3 or 4 digit numbers. So I'm writing the number up here and I'm circling it, and I'm going to write the date up top right here. This way you can keep track of your progress, see how creative you're getting in your math journal, and check out how many more ideas you're coming up with these days. So what we're doing here is just coming up with creative ways to represent the number 731. For example, if we're thinking about time, we might do this. And then I might want to see what that would look like on a clock. So draw your clock. Seven. So 7 o'clock is the shorthand. So I'm going to point the shorthand to the 7. And the longhand is actually just past the 6, because 6 is for 30 or half past. So it's just past the 6. It's not quite 7:35, so it'll be around here, and you can just demonstrate your knowledge just like that. If you want to represent 731 in money, you'll have to find ways to do that. I want to see how I could make this just in loonies, or I want to see how I could make this just with $50 bills and change. So I am going to start with 6 $100 bills. You can also demonstrate it like this, or you can draw 6 bills out yourself. Plus, there's another 100 in there. So plus 2 $50 bills. The point to this is to get creative and to see what you can come up with. It's not to try to find the easiest answer possible. So I have 600, 700. Now I have 3 tens. So I could do, I'm going to do 2 $10 bills. And I'm going to do 2 $5 bills to make up that last 10. See how I'm demonstrating it like this or like this? It's up to you. Plus a loonie, which could even be or 4 quarters. There's so many different ways to come up with that. If you like, you can just leave it just the way it is, or you can separate your ideas with bubbles. I know that 731 is 7 100 blocks. You get the idea. And 3 tens and 1 unit. So I'm going to separate my idea like this. What else can I come up with? Well, I did have the word algebra on here, and that may have frightened some students, but algebra is actually quite simple. It can be very complicated. Since we just want it to be simple, but just kind of get your mind working. So when I look at this number, I think an easy number to pull out of it is 700. So if I want to take away a number and replace it with a letter, that's essentially what algebra is in this case, then I could do plus a equals 731. So then we have to solve for a now. So this is an example of how you can challenge yourself, and it shows that this page isn't just a page of things you already know. It's also equations that you're coming up with, or math problems that you're coming up with to solve for yourself. So what I'm going to do to solve for A is I'm going to do 731 take away. So I'm going to reverse it. So 731 take away 700 is 31. So that means A equals 31. That was just a random question that I made up myself. So you can come up with all sorts of things. And if you can't write out the number, then that gives you an idea of what you can and can't do yet. And those are things that you have to look into and try to figure out by asking questions, looking online, and things like that. You could also write it in your home language. I know French, so I'm going to write it in French. You could find out what the 7th letter of the alphabet is, the 3rd letter of the alphabet is, and then the 1st letter. All sorts of things like that. And you just keep going until you filled the page, or until you've done your time limit. So I am recommending that you do anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes per number or per page per day. If you are finding 20 minutes to be way too long, then set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes, and you just have fun with it and try to do it as often as you can. And I will show you a couple more examples. Okay, have fun with it and take care. Bye.